Okay, so following question. Is the fairy tale attainable? Is a fairy tale attainable? Is what you're seeing on TV actually attainable? Well, here's me about to pop your bubble. They're actresses. Oh, popped. Now, what does a fairy tale look like to you? Stop letting other people decide what your future and your life should look like. This question and decision belongs to only you. It only belongs to you. So what does your fairy tale look like? What would you like it to look like? And this is the list that we make in class. I'm actually putting that on the class right now. You know what? I think that's what I'll do instead. We come up with the questions during the videos and we answer them in classes. Right? So, what is your fairy tale? What does it look like? What does it look like? This is what my fairy tale looks like. Traveling together, having experiences that we haven't had before. And you know, I mean that traveling together, I do mean by, hey, this is a truth channel and I don't take kindly to criticism. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't take kindly to insults. I do believe that a man should treat, and that includes the travelers. Say what you will. Say what you will. But if we're traveling together, I do think the men should treat. Now, here's another way that you can do it if your man doesn't really have it like this. Or, you're still young, and you're building together. Because again, on this channel, we don't do insults. Instead, we find out what's the best idea is. What is everybody's idea is. Because everyone's life is different for a reason. It is acceptable for a reason. So then we don't judge over here. So let's say that you don't have it like that. Your man doesn't have it like that. But you do want to travel and all. Here's one way you can do it. Set out a budget, a bucket. They call it fund your bucket, I believe. It's in people that actually do financing. Okay, so it's basically when you get your money, you place it into different buckets. Place a bucket for travel that you both put in money into. Because guess what? If he doesn't have it like that, and that's your man, do it together. Do it together. Because guess what? I may not be paying for the traveling, but gifts, I get gifts all the time. Just because gifts. Just because. And they make him smile so hard that it's amazing. Because, I know when we're traveling, it's not on me, it's on him. But how do I pull my weight about this? I pull it out with gifts. Nice custom shirts, perfumes labeling with their names. Well, with his name, not their names. So I'm just saying, for you guys, with their names. Ideas for gifts. Give gifts that mean something, not just on their birthdays. That's also one thing that'll get you set on his mind. Just because gifts. Just because. I saw this, I was thinking about you, I brought it to you. He will never forget you because guess what? Most women out there are looking for men to buy them gifts. Now, when you're the one actually, just because gifts, because he treats you and he treats you well, give him just because gifts. Those are men that believe that, just because gifts. That'll get you set right here in his mind. Just because. Just because. So is a fairy tale attainable? What is your fairy tale? What does it look like? What is the future that you see with this person? What does that look like? Does it look like struggle? Is that what you would like? So then how do you flip it? Stop thinking that in 5 years that'll change if you're not making preparations for those 5 years now. 5 years starts now. Because you will eventually get to the 5 years, and what will happen then? You'll still be planning? No. 5 years starts now. How do you see that fairy tale? What do you want in it? Do you want kids in it? How many kids do you want in it? Have you guys spoke about this already? And not just you talking. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. What does he say that he wants? Because the more that you're at the woman, you're doing the talking, the more he's over here listening and saying that, yeah, I need to drop this. I don't know how this is going to work out. You don't do that. You talk too much. Take your time. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. You know, in the beginning, of course, you ask those questions, you know, where do you see yourself in the future? That is the dating stage. Now, let's say you guys are past the dating stage, because right now this channel is about chasing the ring. Chasing the ring. So, you pass the dating stage, okay? You over here, you still over here talking about this is how many kids you would like, this is that. What does he say? This is very important. What does he say? Now, if he's over here just, you know, just shaking his head, okay. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Let him do the talk. You know why you let a man do the talk? Because women are always talking and men never talk. But the one that actually talks, he talks to his woman. He will tell you what he sees. He will tell you what he wants. And this is how you know he's serious. Simply because men are laser focused. Women, we can be doing A, B, C, D. Men, they have a laser focus. They straightforward. To a point where I'm sometimes like, yo, I am so jealous. If he focuses on doing one thing, he does it well, and he finishes it. Me, I'm doing 4 or 5 things at the same time, and I'm trying to finish them all. They say that's just how our minds are. You know, how they're doing. Maybe that's why, you know, we go well together. You know, you can help him see stuff to prepare for stuff that are coming up. And this, again, goes into how a woman can help a man grow. And whoever has a problem with this expression, behind every great man there's a great woman. This is my question to you. When you say, no, I've never stood behind a man, I don't know what that is, because I've never stood behind a man. How do you view your relationship? If you see your relationship as both of you going head to head, toe to toe, that sounds like a lot of arguments to me. Again, to me. Doesn't mean that it's not right to you. But what I'm saying is, when they say behind every great man, there's a great woman, why don't you hear the word great woman? At the end of the day, you're the one that makes him great. He cannot be great without you. But if you're letting your ego speak, you only stuck on the fact that it says behind. But you seem to forget that you are behind your kids. When you're raising your kids and they say, oh, you're raised well, who do they praise? Who do they praise? The parents or the kids? I say the compliment is to the kid, but the praise goes to the parents. So stop being stuck on little words, on just little words. It simply say behind a great man. But guess what? Without that great woman, think about what's more important. Think about what you're trying to construct. Stop letting just, okay, well, I can't seem to construct that without actually making it a judgment. because that would be a judgment, and I'm not a hypocrite. So we're just going to drop this. Next. While you're gazing into the future, do know that there will be heartache, there will be problems. So to people that when you're actually explaining something that you're going through with your man, that is telling you, well, why don't you leave him? I wouldn't explain that to that person again. I wouldn't explain to them my problem anymore. Because what relationship is perfect? What relationship doesn't have a problem? And besides, not to forget that they're actually taking your decision out of the way by telling you what to do instead of letting you express what you want to do. Don't take nobody's choices away from them. This is their choice to make. It's mind-boggling for you to be saying, why don't you leave him, when you know in your own relationship you yourself have problems. You may not have the same problems, but you yourself have problems. So you telling the next person, that he's telling you something, oh, why don't you leave him? No. This is a way you could phrase it. This is a way that I was speaking to a guy friend, and he said, well, you might want to phrase it this way. This world that you're on, I don't really see the light at the end of it. Leave it to that. The person's choice has not been taken away from them. And you let them know, as a friend, I see you on the road. As a friend, I care for you and I love you. I do not see light at the end of that road. And let that choice be to the person. Let that choice be to the person whether they want to actually keep going or not. That is their choice to make, not yours. Because guess what? What you do to one person, someone else will do to you. Your choice will soon be taken away from you, and will you like it then? I doubt it. So find out what the future, what you want in that future. But know that there will be problems and heartache. Know your boundaries for those problems and those heartache. And let it be known. Let it be known. You don't let it be known. There's a time and place to also let it be known. Let it be known, not saying that if you ever cheat, I'm leaving you, I'm this, that, and the third, and then come to find out you cheated. Yep. Come to find out you did the deed. So I think the best way to let boundaries be known, I wouldn't say when something happens, I would say when the conversation ends, sure. Because when something happens, it doesn't just happen. There are steps leading to it that makes it happen. Pay attention. Pay attention to the steps. Pay attention to those actions and just let it be known. That word right there, if that happens, I will not be nice. Sounded slightly Caucasian in there, saying I will not be nice. But what I'm saying is you get the gist of it. That will not sit well with you. Next question. Respect.